righty then. Well, that was quick. Hey, how you doing, Vince? How you doing? How you
Hey there,
doing? How
Charles. How
you
you
doing?
doing? Doing all right. Doing all
All
right.
right. All right. Well, welcome to Youth Central Sports. I'm Charles Morse. Happy to be here with you on a Wednesday night. And I can tell Mr. Vince Carter, man, you look like you're busy. You busy. You had a busy day today?
I had a real busy day today. Been on the basketball court most of the day. Just got off just and get back to welcome you and our viewers for the evening. Literally just walked off the court.
Oh, well, I mean, you look good. You sound good. So tell us, how is the knee doing?
Knee doing really well. Go back to the doctor this coming Monday, the ninth. I think that's the 18th, I believe. Hopefully to be released by him. I'm hoping that my progress has met his approval, and he's going to let me go for my care, or at least okay me to go back to what he calls normal duty. I've been coaching ever since uh, I could get up and get around. So, but I'm talking about my normal work job. So, I'm excited about that, but doing well otherwise.
Okay, well, I'm Charles Morris with Coach Vince Carter, the man. We're here at Youth Central Sports, where we come to you every Wednesday at 11 p.m. at www.youthcentralsports.com. You can like us on Facebook. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You make sure you hit that like button on Facebook. You can follow Mr. Carter on Twitter. Once in a while I get your tweets there, Coach Carter. I get your
I tell
tweets.
you, I gotta take more time to stop and tweet. I don't always do that, but I'm trying to become more of a tweeter, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you that we got a lot to talk about, right?
Right,
So,
right.
first of all, let's start out. Did you know that Ann Donovan passed away?
I saw that earlier this evening. An Olympian at a very early age, too. I think what 56 or 59.
Yeah, yeah. She was only 56 years old. She's a, Hall of Famer, gold medalist. You know,
Right,
so 56 years old. She died of heart failure at
heart failure.
56.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
tell you what, that's a fresh. I always hate to lose good people. And it's a tragedy anytime you lose someone, but in our world of sport, to be able to lose a coach or a medalist or anybody, but it's always a difficult time. So our heart goes out to the family.
Right, right, right. Definitely. Um, Also want to know, do you follow horse racing at all? When it comes to,
Unfortunately, and here I am, right here in the state of Tennessee, just an hour, just come back from Kentucky, as a matter, more than a couple of days ago, and I do not follow horse racing at all.
right, well, Justified just won the Triple Crown, so,
Did hear someone mention that the other day. I have a couple of people that I know who are avid horse fans, racing fans, and they were saying that, and they were saying that I should know that. And I said, well, I appreciate the information, but I was not aware of that. But I did see something on the ticker tape of ESPN the other day. It was today, sometime that they won, and I was like, okay, that's fantastic. Very exciting though. I must admit, horse racing is exciting. It's just one of those things that I'm.
oh, sorry. Did you know that Andrew Luck threw the ball for the first time? I think this week. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, Andrew Luck threw the
saw a
ball.
little.
So he's throwing now. So
Yeah,
I think he's going to be ready for the start of the season.
well, we'll see, but that certainly is a good sign that he's a ball again. Young man's been out a while. A lot of expectations was riding on him, and I thought he got off to a decent start, but as it would have, the injury crept in on him and got him, and so hopefully to see how he recovers.
Okay, well, listen, I got a question. Did you see the women's USC track and field? Did you see that?
No, I did not. I did
You
not
did
have an
not see
opportunity to
that.
see that.
Well,
No,
guess what, Vince? We got to talk about this. Okay?
what's that?
All right?
Okay,
All right. I want
all
you to
right.
watch this. Okay? Watch this right here. I want you to watch this. All right? Check it out.
from the inside. Ohio State, Florida.
Now, here it is. This is the start of the race. This is courtesy of ESPN. I want you to watch this. This is the USC women's 4x100. Okay?
Okay.
And let me see. Right now, I think it is Purdue that is leading throughout this race right here. I think Purdue, that's LSU in the goal, but I think that's Purdue leading right there. Yeah, that's Purdue leading. And that's Oregon out front right now.
Okay.
That looks like that's USC in third place, but looks like if they're coming around, Purdue is in first place, Oregon is in second place,
Right.
and it looks like that might be Louisville just taking on third place. You know, it's been a long time since I called track.
Okay.
It's been a long time. But that's Purdue in first place. Okay, and I think that's Oregon in second place. Okay. Again, this is courtesy of ESPN. So now you see that's Purdue in first, Oregon in second. I think that's Louisville in third. I think. I'm
Okay.
not quite sure who that is in the red, but I think that might be Louisville. And I think that's USC in fourth place right now. Kentucky is in sixth
LSU
place.
is okay.
Okay. Purdue, Oregon, and I may be mistaken, but because it's red, I'm just going to say it's Louisville, and USC is in fourth place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now check out this handoff right here, Vince. Check out the handoff. Right here, boom. She almost knocked it down. This is the last leg. This is the last leg. Purdue is in first place. Oregon is in third place. USC is in third place. I mean, Oregon is in second place. USC is in third place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's Purdue out front. Oregon is in second. USC is in third. Coming around on the last leg. Vince. This, Vince,
Who is that?
Is what sports is all about.
Yes, it is. That's USC.
That's USC. That's what sports is about right there, brother. Every
Good.
time I see
Gotcha.
that, I got tears in my eyes. That ain't nothing but
amazing.
heart.
Yeah, that's hard. That is you got that right.
That ain't nothing but heart right there, brother.
That is a true definition of sport.
They're gonna show
That's boy, that's a lot of effort right there.
with that, they needed, and they won by 1 point. They won the track meet. Well, they won the nationals with her winning. They won it by 1 point. Okay, that's the second exchange. Now they're going to show the next exchange right here where she almost knocked her down. Right here.
Yeah, but that girl got back on her. Ooh.
Okay. There was a question. They were saying, well, did she impede the runner there? No. She just running
she
the
did not.
curve. And if anybody ever run track before,
Yeah, they were shoulder
man,
to shoulder.
track practice is the hardest practice in the world. Look at that.
That girl and the girl from Purdue had no idea
No,
she
right,
was up on her, and
right.
she slowed down because she felt like she had that taken care of.
And for people who don't know, that's what sports is about. Heart,
Absolutely.
heart. And I can't say it no better. You know, that right there. That is what hard work, dedication, and track practice is the hardest practice in the world. And the 400, that's a race. That there's no other.
Yeah, it is.
The 400 is a race. You know, there's nothing like the 400 running that 400. It's all out, one time around the track. That's a man's race. But I mean, you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. I've never actually participated in that, but I've seen it. I got out there for and played with it. Wasn't actually running it, and couldn't get it done. So I just have a great appreciation for those that run that, because that is grueling. And what she just did is what dreams are made of.
Oh,
That's your ultimate hope. You know, everybody talks about coming behind win. If that young lady didn't put her heart in that, then there is no putting your heart thing. I mean, she really gave it her all for a fantastic.
that and again with her winning that race, they won that meet by 1 point.
That
By 1 point.
margin of victory. Margin of victory. How about that? That's what we're talking about. I mean, and you hear that
Man.
all the time.
And what you didn't hear was the announcer saying that Purdue had won this race. Purdue had won this race. You know, and then all of a sudden the guy got, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's just like, wow. You know,
You cannot count out the heart of a champion.
you are right
And that's
about
when
that.
champions seem to
And
rise to the occasion. When it looks like all the odds are against them, is when they come up with one of the best performances of their career. I don't know how she could beat that.
right. Oh yeah, yeah.
Her,
And then
her coach got to be in heaven right about now. Her coach is. I would probably be stressed out on the track myself, just with unbelievable watching that performance. Just thinking I had a chance to interact with this young lady. Wow, and you go out and do something like that. That's amazing.
yeah. Actually, you know what? I wish I could reach out to her. Maybe, you know what? I'm going to try to see if we can get her on the show, Vince.
That would be great. I'd love to hear her. I'd love to hear her mindset and because I think a lot of time people don't understand, and sometimes I don't understand. When you see fantastic plays like that, you wonder what's going on in the athlete's mind. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Did she feel anything? She may have been numb, just knowing I got to push myself to get to this. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear her talk about that.
Well, Vince, you know the funny thing is, there's times, man, and we're going to talk about something a little later because I'm going to ask you a question on the 3-minute sprint, kind of leading to what we're talking about now, but I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
But it's funny how sometimes when everything line up and when you really put all in, when you at your peak, condition, there's those days, man, it's kind of like those nights, man, Vince, you can't miss if you tried. If you was playing basketball, whatever that is, you try to put it in a bottle and you want to keep it with you. And the basket
you want to
looks like
keep it.
it's like huge. And no matter
yeah.
what you put up, you can close your eyes on that night and
Right.
everything goes in. It's just amazing how that is sometimes. You know?
I have had the opportunity to have been around a player that had that kind of a night. One or two players, as a matter of fact, who've had those kinds of nights, and it's some type of warrior that they talk about. They say they don't know. It just all of a sudden the basket looks as big as a highway, and they just got that feeling for it. It just every time it leaves their hand, it feels like it's guided, like a guided missile right to the basket. And one guy was telling me, he said he just shot the ball he actually just threw it up and it just went in. He said
Yeah.
he couldn't, but and he said he just could not miss. And I asked him, I said, well, could you describe the feeling? He said, really, coach, I can't. It was just a feeling I'd never had before, but I was so confident I could turn my back and throw the ball to the basket and it would go in. And I said, that's got to be a fantastic feeling. I mean, you don't get it often.
No,
You don't see
nope,
that kind of
nope.
activity often, but every
No.
now and then, I've seen a guy on the football field you just couldn't tackle him. You couldn't. I mean, he just run every time he touched the ball, off he go.
And
Baseball. I've seen guys playing baseball. I don't care where you throw it, they hit it and it's gone. So every now and then, like you said, all the stars line up at the same time in the same direction, and you get a fantastic performance.
and then and then the funny thing about it, Vince, you don't know it until the game starts. You don't know it until like
And sometimes, yeah, yeah, because
it's
I have seen a couple of guys. I saw a guy go out 0 for 8 in the first quarter. And I'm talking about they were terrible. I mean, when I say 0 for 8, I mean he wasn't even hitting the backboard of the rim. And he was so dejected. Kept telling him, hey, keep shooting, play good defense. Don't worry about your offense. Let your defense bring your offense. Sure enough, he goes down, he gets a nice steal, goes up and lays the ball up. And it's just like somebody flipped the switch. He came down the next time, deep in the corner on a 3, and that thing didn't hit anything but bottom. And one of the coaches say, uh-oh, it's on. And that boy shot, he had missed those 0 for 8. He didn't miss another shot the rest of the night. That boy ended up scoring 42 points that night.
wow.
And he just couldn't miss. He just couldn't. He just felt it. And so I've seen it go both, from disaster to success. And I've seen him where he came out hot on fire and just went cold. And I've seen that in the NBA quite a few times. But to be up close and coaching a kid that's just hot, and all of a sudden he just go cold. He can't throw the ball toward the basket. And when you talk to him about that, it's unexplainable. He said, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. I have no idea. And I've had a couple of players come to me and say, well, coach, what's wrong? And I'm looking at him saying, I don't know. All I know is your form looks good. You're taking the right shot. You're letting the golf ball go at the right time. It's just the basketball guards are not on your side tonight.
Yeah. Well, your Cowboys was in the news today.
What do we do now?
Oh no. Actually, this was okay. Your Cowboys made Zach Martin the highest paid guard in the NFL.
Yeah, I saw that.
He got a $20 million signing bonus, and he got $40 million guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
They just stuffed his bank account with $20 million, and then they guaranteed another 40. Boy, I tell you, life must be good.
I've never, the best of my knowledge, that's the best contract or one of the top contracts I've ever heard for an offensive lineman. I know they pay them well because they are that's got to be up there among one of the best contracts that you ever had from an offensive lineman, to be paid that kind of money. That's the kind of money you used to paying backs and running backs, wide receivers, but to pay an offensive lineman that kind of money. And when I saw that, I'm thinking to myself, how does this guy feel? To be known that he's being paid that kind of money, and you line up in front of him. What do you think? What are you thinking? This guy is a $85-90 million project that I'm facing. They're paying him $84 million to block me.
Right.
So, yeah, and he does the job very well. So that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I'm all for it though, because I accept the fact that these guys put in a lot of hard work and he's getting paid for it.
Wow. Well, let me see. Andrew Luck threw the ball and see. We talked about that. We talked about USC.
Mm-hmm.
The World Cup. The World Cup, man. 20. What is that? 20 2026? Is it 2026? That was, that's in the news. Or is it 2020?
Uh,
Yeah, I
is it
think it's
2020 or 26?
2026.
Okay.
I think it's Mexico, U.S. and somebody else supposed to be hosting. So soccer is getting bigger and bigger, man. And
That
and
soccer is
and they
definitely
think
growing.
with that, I think it's supposed to be like 3 billion people watching. Can you imagine 3 billion
I'm
people
not.
watching? 3 billion?
I am absolutely not surprised. I am not surprised because although I'm probably a late comer to the sport, it's amazing. I watched when I was in Orlando how quickly the Orlando soccer team grew in favor. You can see purple all over town. Man, that was one of the best ad campaigns and marketing campaigns I've ever seen that they pulled off on there. I mean, it had to be again. I mean, how quickly that city became purpleized. And I rode by the stadium and I would talk to people who would go into the game, packed out stadiums, people who I never knew really had any real interest in soccer and become hooked as soccer fans. And I love the energy. The energy was unbelievable. I've witnessed something similar to that here in Tennessee with hockey. The local team made the Stanley Cup last year, and they lost in the finals. But the excitement in this city far exceeded anything as it related to basketball or football, because the football team was doing well, and we were interested to see what would be the most exciting game in town, a hockey game or a football game, and by far it's a hockey game. These people were on fire around here about this hockey. It kind of got me a little bit because I'm not really a hockey fan, but they kind of had me a little excited.
But but you know what? Hockey is such a fast-paced sport. It's different watching it in person than it is watching it,
Yes, yeah,
on television.
I've only seen it in I've only seen it in person twice, and I really didn't have an appreciation for what I was looking at. I was kind of forced to be at the event, and I missed the opportunity last year to go to one of the playoff games here because the excitement is unbelievable. The stadium is so electric. The arena is so electric. I mean, I love the part where they bring the fish out and throw the fish out and throw the fish. They're crazy out there, man. They're absolutely nuts, but it's exciting. It's forceful. I hate to admit this, but I love to see them throw hands every now and then. It's just exciting. It's absolutely exciting. And the thing that I found that I'm noticing, particularly here, the number of females who are avid hockey fans.
Oh yeah.
They love this. They absolutely love it. And so, like I said, as I said earlier, they kind of got me a little excited. So I'm probably going to be visiting a hockey game here soon. Probably as soon as next season, I'll probably be sitting in the stand yelling for a hockey team as well.
Well, when I was going to school up north, when I was up in Boston and up in Maine, because I was, that's man, I walked into the sports store, and you had to like go in the back to find like basketball stuff
Yeah, man.
and football stuff,
Yeah,
because
they love
everything
that
out
hockey,
front was
boy.
hockey, especially when you was up like in Maine and oh my goodness, in Canada, man, that's all you saw was hockey stuff.
That's all you said.
So
Yeah, I can attest to that. I was in Toronto, and I was looking for a little gift to take back, and I was looking for a basketball, and I had to look far in between to find basketball. I had to pass all that hockey stuff to get the basketball. I said, "Y'all do have a basketball team here, don't you?" They said, "Yeah, we do. It's in the back." It's back in the
like
corner,
way in the back.
way in the back. I said, "Shoot, I got to dig through this. Y'all ought to give me a discount."
Yeah. Well, before we talk about this other stuff, let me ask you this right here. What you think of T.O. in the news? Do you think he gonna show up?
I'll be honest with you. I don't understand what T.O. objection is, and maybe I'm missing part of the point.
Well,
I really don't.
well, that's what actually, to me, Vince, it's like if I have the right to say I don't want to show show up, and you want to hold that against me? I mean,
Well,
but I mean,
I mean, it's
I don't
his
know. I
call.
mean, if he don't want to show up, so
That I'm not sure, and this is one of those categories that falls into me. Is that really news? Is that really news? I don't know that that's news. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to be able to say that he was offered an opportunity and he rejects it. Okay, from that to me, that's an insert. That's not worth coverage. The kind of coverage they're giving. He don't want to go, don't go.
right.
You know, and we move on to the next item. I mean, I think it's newsworthy in the sense of reporting his decision not to go, but to make it into a headline, I'm not sure that that's a headline because again, it goes right back to your point. It's his choice. He's earned the right to accept or deny. He chooses to deny. Okay, then we move on.
Well, everybody. I mean, as soon as they start talking about it, they're talking about what he's denying, the new fraternity that he's part of, and he's cheating the other people and this other stuff. So basically, they're making it more about them than it is about him. Because if he has the
Yeah.
choice to say, you know what, I don't want to, then you can enshrine him. Boom. T.O. is now in the Hall of Fame, and that's his choice.
Well, he has the right to, as you said. I mean, clearly, I mean that solves the whole problem. He has a right to accept or deny. And if you're because he chooses not to, you don't want to enshrine him, then don't enshrine him. Then, but if he's earned the right to enshrine him, and he doesn't, and just simply say he did not attend, but he still earned the right to be enshrined. I don't know whether he's protesting something or take a mark or use that platform to speak to a specific issue. I don't really know, but I don't think that it's worth all the time giving it if he chooses not to go. Now, if he wants to make a statement about it, he wants to race you, that's a different situation. But
Yeah,
just simply
I mean,
from an
I don't think he's that type of person. Like, for an example,
I've not known T.O. I mean, I've known T.O. to speak his mind. And he would need a platform to do that, especially this kind of a platform. But for whatever be his, and I really have not seen anything, and I really probably would like to research a bit more to find out what is his objection.
well, what I heard was that he was ticked off that he didn't get in on the first ballot. So, so that's what I heard.
Then we
but
need to go
that's
on to
typical
item
T.O.
number,
But hey,
yeah, we need to
that's
go to
him.
item 2 then. We need to go to item 2 and just move on. Okay, T.O. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, next. There's no need standing there and playing with that because whatever decision that was made, he doesn't agree with it. And on both sides of that coin, they got a right to make their decisions when they think he should go in. He has a right to say, I thought I should have went earlier and I'm mad and I'm not coming. Okay, thank you very much. Next.
Right.
Just move on. I mean,
the way the media is, and because it's
Yeah.
T.O. anyway, they're going to make more out of it than what it should be.
Well, now, Charles,
And I think he kind of loved this anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, he needs a. But now, since we're on that topic, and I really didn't want to bring this up because I had said I wasn't going to talk about this, but you raised an issue that's a concern of mine. We just played the NBA championship, and one team won and one team got swept. You would think that the news cycle would be about the winning team and the individuals and contributions that were made from the winning team. I hear more about where LeBron James might be playing next year is more important than the team that just won. I got a problem with that. He got swept. I don't care where he plays at next year. And and as long as he doesn't go to my favorite team, I don't care where he plays. I don't see how that's news. I think it's interesting. I mean, if people want to know, but they almost overshadowed the fact that the Warriors have won a back championship, which is a rarity in this sport, in any sport, and to be able to come back and do it. And LeBron got swept. But you tell me now the most important news thing right now is where would he play next year? Who cares?
Right.
And
Well,
perhaps I have a different opinion because I don't care.
yeah. Well, I was going to talk about him on the other end, but
Oh, okay.
since
I
you
got
brought
there
him
too
up,
early.
we can go
Now I
ahead
follow.
and we can talk about him now. Now, one of the things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and not that it matters, but when he came out with the brace on the hand, okay, now all of a sudden, you wearing the brace, whatever that is, that was, to me, I'm trying to figure out, like, why are you doing that now? Why? What's the significance of coming out now, blah, 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 whatever that's about. And then, man, these guys now, Kevin Durant is a perfect example of the times in which we live in now. These guys, especially with social media and all the hype, and like I said, they're no longer athletes, man. They're just rock stars. And so,
Well,
what we grew up with, our understanding of sports and competition, is different for those guys. It's different because they listen to the hype. I'm not going to listen to somebody and say you measured by championships, because that's not necessarily true. You know from what you have seen in players, players that are great. There's plenty of great players that never won championship, but you see
sure.
and understand the hard work and the dedication and how they play the game. Now, they don't have the necessary support and the team that they need in order to win a championship, but the players that can play this game. The players that put in the work. The players that went out there and played every night. And so you have a lot of respect for them. Sure, you want, as a player and for those that you root for, to win championships, but there's been plenty guys who won championships that are bum players because they were just on the right team, at the right time. So when you talk about measuring championship, they don't tell the whole story. It don't tell the whole story. I mean, it's great to
Well,
win championships, but
in
that's not the
today's
whole
society,
story.
though, today's society is about entertainment, and I understand that it's about a huge entertainment dollar, and I get that. I'm not against that because I think that's what the entertainment business is about. That's what the sport business is about. It's about putting the best product that you have available to the public to generate revenue. 100%, I agree with that. But I think in doing that, we've forgotten what it's like for these players to reach the level that they've reached in their professions, regardless of what sport it's in. Sometimes we minimize that guy sitting on the bench when he has accomplished a very, very unique opportunity that many people do not get a chance to accomplish. And what we fail to put in there sometimes different talent levels. There are different team needs. There are different team talent levels. I mean, all those factors go in, but we celebrate the wins and the loss, and we don't celebrate the integrity of the game, or as you talked about, what this went through to get to that. I get that. Not only people inside the sport or sport world probably have a great appreciation for hard work that guys have put in. I think and with social media today, it's about acknowledging activities, whether they're right, wrong, indifferent. That's a whole different platform that I think is a plus as much as a negative. And so, unfortunately, it has changed the field, but it has not changed these kids putting in the time that they put in to be able to reach this. I don't think many of them are taking full advantage of it. I think they get to a point and they stop. For many kids to get to the professional level of a sport, for them seems to be the ultimate, rather than really growing in that sport, being the best they can at that, and win championships or accolades. Sometimes it's just I've made the league, so I'm okay now. That's why a lot of them don't stay. They don't continue to put in that time, and I think that gets lost because we look at the entertainment value. We don't look at the hard work. Everybody wants to talk about the Warriors, and I'm a Warrior fan, but what they don't talk about and what they get done is the hard work those guys have put in, and that they're still putting in, what their practices allow, what they're doing in practice every day to make sure that they could accomplish what they're doing. On the LeBron issue, I say this about LeBron, and and I don't have anything against the man personally. I just think from his professional persona, I'm not a fan. It, I do applaud him in one sense that this injury took place and he said nothing about it, and he didn't do anything until it was all over. And maybe putting that on right there after the game was important, because I have no idea what the injury that he had, but he came out with, because they said he had injured that way back in game one, and he just played through it. And I was thinking he's doing this so as it would not be an excuse for him, whether he wins, lose, or draws. And I think then coming out with it on, he could have waited till the next day to do it. I don't know, but I just thought that the fact that he didn't use it as an excuse was really good for him. I was surprised that he didn't do that. And again, that speaks to his LeBron maturing. Now, coming out there with his on his hands, everybody, all his fans now want to give him an excuse as to why they didn't win. And I hope that they would take a look at the fact that more than anything, he tried his best, given he had the injuries, and nobody knew that. And you said he gave his best. He scored 40, 50, 60 points with that bad hand. It just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. And so the fact that he chose afterwards to wear it, I applaud him for it, as not using it as an excuse and a crutch.
Well, the thing is, Vince, when I was talking about today's athlete, he has that mindset. These guys, like I was saying, they process things differently. They see the world differently. Their attitudes is more about the being in the light, and to them that's what they're supposed to do. So for us,
but Charles,
yeah,
I will say this now. On behalf of the athlete, sometimes the athlete is a reflection of what he's been taught. He's a reflection of what people have allowed him to do.
right.
And so you really faulting him when in fact it's really not 100% his fault.
Well, that's what I meant by today's athlete. What you're talking about is what I meant by today's athlete, because that's part of it.
Yeah, because we ruined it. A lot of time coaches and people have
That's what I
ruined
meant by that, plus the social media and that whole ram of how things are now.
Yeah, because the media blows
how
it
we
up.
live now.
They get that.
Right.
They get that instant gratification that you get from Facebook, which sometimes is truthful, sometimes it's false, sometimes it's misleading. Many times it's fool's gold, because as quickly as they like you, they can quickly dislike you. It's so different, and it's interesting how the NBA specifically meets with these young guys and try to help them manage this big elephant in the room. They talk to them about how they manage their money, how they associate with people in the communities and groupies and all of that, but they spend an awful lot of time on social media issues as well. That's been included to make sure that you are aware. Now, do all of them adhere to that or take that for what it's worth? No, because they're all human beings, especially young guys. But what they're finding out, or they will find out, that social media can be your best friend, but it also can be your worst nightmare. You see recently where they got a couple of guys from the Lakers, they're going at each other, Ball and God, I can't think of the other guy's name, and the team has said to them, man, you guys need to back down off of that. His two teammates going at it on social media.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and what's making it so bad, everybody's seeing it. So what does that do for team chemistry? What does that do for the integrity of the team in the community? I think that's something that people think about. So it has to be managed like anything else. It's a big animal. It's the other elephant in the room, if you will. So it's tough. It's tough on these guys, these coaches and players, and fans. So it's just another one of those things you got to manage, as well as manage the game, the players, and the situation on the floor, on the field, or wherever you're playing.
Wow. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're teammates and you going at each other on social media, that's
yeah, go at each other, but pick up the phone and call each other.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just
Email.
like they're in middle school. You know,
Exactly. Yeah,
it's like they're in middle
absolutely.
school. You know,
Yeah,
and,
that is
and,
true.
and the funny thing is, it just blows my mind as an adult how they get upset with fans and stuff like that. That just blows my mind
Yeah.
how they get upset with fans because of what the fans say. It's just like, why do you care about what the fans say? It's like, what?
Well,
I mean, you're in the NFL, you in Major League Baseball, you in the NBA. You know, and you at the top of your game. It's just like they supposed to. That's what fans do. That's part of what comes with that big contract. And you take it personal? Really?
it
Really?
appears to be that it's worse in the NBA than it is in football and baseball and soccer and hockey. And it appears that way. Now, I may be wrong on that. Statistics may not support that and support something different. But one of the theories about basketball is so bad because people are so close to the actual athlete. He's right there. He's within arm reach. Unlike a hockey player, you have a barrier between some of a barrier between them. In football, you're further away. Baseball, you're even further away. But basketball, you're right up on. You can actually look in these guys' faces, and that tends to give that perception of intimacy that's not really real sometimes. And then you play it out on social media. You know, today we taking pictures and running videos, things said, done. It's instantaneous now. It used to be a week. You had a week to prepare for do some damage control. You only got 30 seconds before it's up. You know, so some any discretion that you do, you don't have you only got 30 seconds to prepare for damage control because somebody got a picture of that and it's going up on the book, going up on Facebook. So different era, totally different era. I lost your audio,
Oh,
Charles.
sorry.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
sorry. Yeah, I was saying you're definitely right about that one. It's such a different time that
Yes.
these guys is just. I mean, they're like little kids, and this social media thing, you know, with them,
Yeah.
they I don't know. It's I mean, it's comical. I mean, you know, a lot of times it's comical that they can be so thin-skinned. You know, especially, I mean, you're at the top of your game, you doing your thing, and now you upset because of Joe Smo over here who don't know anything about you, and you don't know anything about him or her, but somehow or another, what they say is important enough to get you upset. Really?
Now, this supports one of my theories. I know I'm old school on this theory, and I'm probably real antiquated. And people would tell me I'm probably just, I'm out of touch with the times. But I think that's a clear indication of the immaturity that we have in the NBA specifically today, because these kids are coming in so young. They're coming in younger and younger, and they really have limited life experience. The only thing they've seen is the walk that they're walking. They haven't seen anything, haven't been anywhere, and they're acting just like what they came from. Their immaturity that they had at that other level, and now you propel them into this big stage, but they act just like 2 year olds. They haven't matured, and I have always said that having these kids come in the NBA, those early ages, is just never good for the game, and I think you're starting to see that now. Because I think the quality of the game has changed. The basketball IQ has definitely gone down because you got guys that have skill but no IQ. They don't really understand what's going on out there. They're able to execute. They're able to make that play special on a fast break, that basketball play. But when you call on their IQ, um, it's not. And we assume it to be higher than it actually is. And I still think that has to do with maturity. A lot of these players that's come in at early ages, they're just not starting to mature. After about 10 years, this guy really now he's starting to fit those NBA shoes that he has. And it takes time. There's no shortcut to maturity.
Now, I'm not going to ask you where you think LeBron is going, but I'm going to ask you
Mm.
this right here. What do you? I mean, he has a choice. I mean, it's his own choice. But if he
Mm.
leaves Cleveland, how would you feel about that? If he was to leave Cleveland?
Me?
Yeah.
For me
And
personally,
and I'm talking about from the standpoint of what he means to Cleveland. as the fans and the people in the community?
If you remember, I had mentioned to you sometime way back mid-season, maybe somewhere in there, of a discourse between him and the owner. And I think it played itself out a little bit. Now they made that big mid-season trade and brought all those guys in, and it did work, and it kind of worked out for them. But there've been several times where I've seen interaction between LeBron and the owner, and it's been very cold, very, very cold. So it kind of led me to believe that LeBron has other aspirations besides basketball. And I think that what he's starting to do now is to make decisions based on what those aspirations are for his future. He did mention the other day about making a decision to leave now, relating to his children, which I think is a new, like he was saying about his daughter. He got a son that'll be in high school, or two sons that'll be in high school. But he also has some other personal things he wants to do that he probably could do better in other places than Cleveland. I've also heard that it's very difficult to get players to come to Cleveland because Cleveland doesn't have much to offer to entice players to come there, because he's trying to recruit other players or the team itself. So I think LeBron's decision, while some of it's personal, some of it, and I think some of it's professional as well, is one of the reasons I think he wants to leave, because I think he's thinking about what's best for me now in my next phase of my career, because he's put in 15 years. He's 33 years old. I think he's now starting to say, okay, well, I need to start securing my future. But he's putting out a documentary about college basketball. So he's doing, and this is on an HBO documentary. It's supposed to come up sometime here in the future. So he's doing some other film work. He's contributed to a charter school there, I believe, in Cleveland. I really think he's looking at other opportunities and where best for those opportunities to take place. And I don't think Cleveland is the place.
Yeah. Well.
So as a fan, I think most fans there will be disappointed. They may not understand, but he has definitely given them what they wanted. They've been recognized. They've been the top team. They've won championships, and now he wants to move on.
Yeah, but most fans are not logical. Most fans
not at
are
all.
not level-headed.
No, and they're not trying to be.
Don't care to be.
They don't care about all of that.
Right. Yeah, right. So it's gonna be well.
And Charles, the combinations of things that I have read change from day to day as to where he possibly is going. There's so many scenarios that people are presenting. However, money, available cap space, money will probably change all of that, because some of the teams they are proposing that he may go to, there's some financial considerations. There's some people that's got to move in order for him to get there. There are a lot of moving parts to these possibilities, but it's intriguing as to what they say could possibly be. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Some of those scenarios, I just don't think they're real. I don't think people are going to give up that much, but you never know. You never know. You never know what goes on behind closed door negotiations, especially when money's involved.
Okay. All right. So, are you ready for the? Are you ready to?
Ready for the sprint. Ready for the sprint.
You ready for the sprint? Okay. Well, let me pull up my little questions here. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Were you ever a Richard Pryor fan?
Yes.
All right. Have you ever seen Richard Pryor in concert in person?
No, I have not.
Actually, I've seen him twice. How old were you the first time you saw snow?
18.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters in person?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we were talking about something earlier. That's why I said I wanted. Have you ever experienced the runner's high?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nate Archibald or Calvin Murphy?
Oh, Nate Archibald.
I had a feeling you was going to say that. Do you ever, actually, you know what? I think I may have asked you, do you ever watch hockey?
Rarely, very
Rarely.
rarely.
Okay. T.O. or Michael Irvin?
Michael Irvin.
First time you ever flew on a plane?
19. I was 19, freshman year of college.
Okay. Most memorable win as a coach?
Wow. YBOA National Championship game. Probably the best win I can ever recall.
What is one of your most heartbreaking losses?
One of my most heartbreaking losses was a situation where my team had played so hard and we were in a press situation and we broke the press. I got so excited, I forgot to call a timeout and we lost. I got so excited, I let the clock run out without calling timeout. And the kids were so forgiving of me, but I felt so bad for them because I cost them the game.
Most memorable win as a player?
Probably my senior year of high school, watching us win a game that we were not supposed to win on a last second shot.
Where were you when President Kennedy was shot?
In school, I think.
Yeah.
I think I was in band. We were in band practice, as a matter of fact, when I was in high school. We were in band practice.
How old were you the first time you rode on a train?
Oh,
Amtrak.
shoot. Amtrak, 9, 8 or 9.
Last question. Have a woman ever given you flowers?
Yes.
Right on time. Oh boy, that was right on time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
was
a woman
shocked as
giving
all
you
get out.
flowers, huh?
I actually was given some flowers. I was shocked by that.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what. I tell you another unique experience I had. I was coaching YBOA basketball. We were playing on Mother's Day.
Oh yeah.
And the players got together and brought me flowers and wished me a happy Mother's Day because we were all. I was like, they said you're like our mother, and we're spending the day with you, and you always you're always after us. So they thought they would treat me by bringing me flowers and wishing me a happy Mother's Day. I thought that was funny as all get out there, because they did it so seriously. They said, by the way, Coach, we got something for you, and everybody just
Vince,
stopped and they presented those to me.
Knowing what you know and knowing what I know, what does that really say, Vince? Honestly, I mean, take you out of it. What does that really say, honestly?
I think what it did for me, it humbled me because it meant that they had a certain relationship with me. They felt comfortable. They trusted me. Our relationship meant more to them than just basketball. It was about being dependable. They could depend on me. They knew that if all else was lost, I had their back. And I actually felt like they had mine.
And see, the thing is, Vince, when you use the word certain things money can't buy,
yeah,
that's a perfect example. See, money can't buy that.
No. And it's a situation that what he was more impressive of an impression to me was it was not necessary. It was nothing that we had talked about. As far as I know, nobody put them up to it, something they came up with. They wanted a way to express their feeling to me. They picked a comical way to do it, but they chose the moment. Right. They wanted, what they were really saying to me was thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. And I was trying to say back to them, thank you. Thank you for you and for allowing me to be a part of you. And that was humbling. Now we had a big laugh about it now. The parents thought it was fun as all get outdoors. And I took the flowers and broke them out and gave them to the mothers who were there. But they got. I wish I could find that picture. They me standing there with Mother's Day flowers. They were funny as all get out there.
Wow, wow. That that's something right there that'll stay with you for the rest of your life, man.
Forever. That's more important than any other. That ranks really high in terms of accomplishments that I think that I hold important. Those are the kind of accomplishments that I think that humble me, that let me know that maybe I'm taking myself a little bit too serious.
Right,
For those guys to be able to see that, and I've had other experiences that have been humbling too. When kids just open up to you, they come to you or come to your aid. I had kids come to me when they thought I didn't feel well. Coach, what can we do? What can I do for you? What can I go get something? Can I call somebody? You don't expect that. I don't expect that. I look for respect,
right.
discipline. But what I'm ultimately trying to build is relationships, and that to me says that we have a relationship.
Well,
And I don't care if it's a bumpy relationship or however, as long as we have a relationship, I feel like we've accomplished something. Because
well,
I've had some bumpy relationships. I had some times where we couldn't get along, but you better not come between us. Okay, but we couldn't get along with each other, but can't nobody come between us.
right.
But we didn't like each other. We didn't like each other. But you couldn't come between us, because then we come together. So but to me that still meant we were building relationships. And
Well,
I
yeah,
think
and then the thing is,
that's what sports about.
right, and and I've shared this a while back when I was coaching the girls. The person who got me into the coaching, she was coaching a daughter at the time, and I think when I first met her daughter was somewhere like 6 or 7 years old. By the time she asked me to come coach her daughter, because she was coaching, her daughter was 9. Now her daughter's 27 years old. And so during those 5 years that I coached, I was extra hard on her because of her mother. I know I had free reign on her.
Right.
So,
Right.
and I'm leaving a lot out, but I would spend time with her. I would take her to the weight room. I would take her out to the court, and I knew that I was harder on her than I was on everybody. And the one good thing about Sheila, who asked me to come coach, she was just so good with these girls. She would take them to the movies. She would take them to the mall. She would have them come over to the house on the weekends. She did all these things, but she was just a wonderful person working with these girls. And at the end of each season, we would have a little banquet, and we would give out little trophies and certificates and all this other stuff. And Vince, after every season, this girl who I was so hard on, and it shocked me at first, the first 2 times it happened, she would come up to me and give me the biggest hug. And the first time it happened, I was, because, even to this day, even when I talk to her, I say, "Hey, Lauren, come here. I need you to do some suicides." And she just, "You better get away from me." Cause that's our relationship. But,
Right.
and to this day, and I tell her, I say, because as a jock growing up, you have in your mind, you think about, having a son and playing sports and stuff like that. And to this day, she taught me that having little girls are not so bad, because I learned so much from her, because we spent so much time together. And I would be invited to banquets. I would take her with me. I remember the Urban League invited me to a banquet, a dinner and stuff like that in several places. I said, "Come on, Lauren," and she would come and go with me, and we would spend time together. And the fact that the first time she came up to me after the season was over with, she came and she gave me this hug, and I was like, whoa, because in the back of your mind, you thinking that they don't like you, and because you always
Right.
pushing them and you're always in their
Yeah.
face and da 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 da, and, because that's what we do. But she even told me, like last year, she said, "You the best coach you ever had," and I looked at her like, "Really? Oh, okay." But
But Charles, a lot of time, when you hear that, I've learned to understand what are they really saying. Are they talking about X's and O's? Many times, no. That's not what they're talking about. You're the best coach I ever had is really saying you're the best friend I ever had.
Right.
Because we have gone through adversity together. We've fallen out, but we've fallen back into each other. You know, I've been mad with you, you've been mad with me, but we never separate from one another. That's a heck of an experience for a young athlete with his coaches. Well, it's a good experience for coaching. I'll share with you. We were playing. I was at Boone High School coaching freshmen, and we were playing a tough game, a team that we were not expected to beat. And they had free reign with us, and we had fought and fought and fought and fought back and forth for that game. And one of my young men who had been very resolved, very he played hard, kind of quiet, didn't say much. At the buzzer, we won the game. He came over, and I don't know what happened. His emotions got the best of him or not, but we were so excited to win, obviously. But he just grabbed me, he bear hugged me and said, "Coach, we got it." And then he kind of caught himself. It surprised him, not more equally as much as it surprised me. But it was that release of emotion that we shared. It's that what you shared together, that hard work you talked about.
Okay, I think that we have lost Vince because I think we have lost our internet connection. But that it actually comes to take us to the end of the show. So with that being said, we want to thank you so much. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we come your way every Wednesday right here at youthcentralsports.com. That's youthcentralsports.com. Vince Carter, I'm Charles Morse. Hope that you enjoy our conversation as we go back and forth. And with that being said, we just ask you to join us here each Wednesday. And you can email us, give us some feedback and some comments. We're going to start taking your comments via text message and on Facebook and Twitter. So with that being said, I'm Charles Moore for Youth Central Sports. You be blessed.